The Young and the Restless spoilers, unraveling the truth, the dangerous game of deception in Genoa City. The heat is rising in Genoa City, and at the center of it all lies a disturbing web of lies, deceit, and mysterious figures pulling the strings from the shadows. Nick Newman, always the protector of his family, finds himself caught in a whirlwind of questions after discovering that a seemingly innocent pharmacist had lied about the results of Sharon's drug test. But the real question is, why would the pharmacist falsify the results, and who was pulling his strings? The unlikely betrayal. It started innocuously enough. Sharon's recent troubles, fueled by the ongoing investigation into her mental health and the suspicious circumstances surrounding her health, had raised red flags. The drug test was supposed to clear her name, a simple piece of the puzzle to help her move forward. But when Nick discovered that the results were tampered with, a sense of dread settled over him. The implications were staggering. Someone had gone to great lengths to ruin Sharon's life, to place a stain on her reputation. Nick's instincts kicked in immediately. Sharon was being framed, and the more he thought about it, the more the pieces began to fall into place. But who would want to do this to her? And why target Sharon, a woman who had always been at the mercy of her own personal struggles? The answers were not easy to come by. With a burning desire to get to the bottom of the situation, Nick confronted the pharmacist, determined to make him reveal the truth. But the pharmacist was a tough nut to crack, far more resilient than Nick anticipated. Despite the overwhelming evidence that the results were falsified, the pharmacist remained steadfast in his denial. He claimed it was a simple mistake, an error in judgment, nothing more. There was no hidden agenda, no malicious intent. But Nick was not convinced. He could sense that there was more to this than the pharmacist was letting on. His instincts told him that there was someone behind this, someone pulling the strings, orchestrating this entire scheme from the shadows. But the pharmacist clammed up, unwilling to give away anything more. The turning point. Chance's arrival. As the tension mounted, Nick's frustration grew. He was determined to get the truth, but the pharmacist was too stubborn, too loyal to whoever had paid him to manipulate the test results. It seemed as though this mystery would remain unsolved until Chance Chancellor arrived on the scene. With his calm but authoritative presence, Chance immediately recognized the importance of the situation. He could sense that this was no ordinary case of mistaken identity or simple negligence. There was something far more sinister at play. Without hesitation, Chance took control of the situation, applying just the right amount of pressure to force the pharmacist to crack. He pulled out a set of handcuffs, and the sight of them seemed to shake the pharmacist to his core. Within moments, the pharmacist broke down, his facade crumbling under the weight of Chance's unwavering determination. And then he confessed. The dark truth. Jordan and Ian Ward's influence. The revelation was chilling. The pharmacist, it turned out, was not acting alone. He wasn't some rogue individual acting out of greed or malice. Instead, he was under the influence of two powerful figures who had been watching Nick and Chance's every move. These figures, a man and a woman, had hired the pharmacist to falsify the test results. Their instructions were clear: ruin Sharon's reputation, make sure she was framed, and ensure that she remained on the defensive at all costs. But the real shock came when the pharmacist revealed the identities of these shadowy figures, none other than Jordan and Ian Ward, two names that sent a ripple of alarm through the room. Nick had suspected that Jordan had something to do with this, but hearing it confirmed left him stunned. The Wards, known for their involvement in countless shady dealings in Genoa City, had once again found a way to manipulate events for their own twisted agenda. Their reach seemed endless, and their ability to stay in the shadows made them all the more dangerous. It soon became clear that Jordan and Ian Ward had been keeping a close eye on both Nick and Chance. They had been monitoring the investigation, tracking their every move, and even listening in on the interrogation. The Ward family's power and influence were far-reaching, and their ability to stay hidden from the public eye was one of the reasons they remained such a formidable force in Genoa City. Nick's heart sank as he realized the full scope of what they were dealing with. This wasn't just about Sharon anymore. It was about something much bigger, something more dangerous. Sharon had been caught in the crossfire of a larger battle, and the wards had used her as a pawn to destabilize Nick and Chance. The stakes get higher. The more Nick processed the information, the more he understood the gravity of the situation. The wards had been manipulating events behind the scenes, carefully setting up Sharon to take the fall for something she had never done. But the question remained, why target Sharon specifically? Sharon had been a vulnerable target, a woman with a troubled past and a complicated history. The wards knew that, and they had played on that vulnerability, knowing that their lies would be easy to believe. They had calculated every move, orchestrating Sharon's downfall with precision. But what they hadn't counted on was Nick's unwavering determination to protect Sharon. His love for her had always been strong, and now, more than ever, he would do whatever it took to clear her name and uncover the truth. Nick's mind raced with thoughts of the future. He knew that he couldn't let the wards get away with this. The stakes had just been raised, and he was more determined than ever to make sure that justice was served. Not just for Sharon, but for everyone who had been affected by the wards' manipulation. A dangerous game of cat and mouse. As the investigation into the wards continued to unfold, it became increasingly clear that this was not just a battle for Sharon's reputation. It was a war for the truth. The wards were playing a dangerous game, and Nick and Chance were determined to beat them at their own game. But the danger was far from over. Nick's every move was being watched, and with the wards lurking in the shadows, there was no telling what they would do next. Their reach was long, and their intentions were unclear. But one thing was certain: they would stop at nothing to protect their secrets. As the tension in Genoa City continues to rise, one thing remains clear: justice will eventually prevail, and Sharon will be vindicated. But how much more will Nick and Chance have to sacrifice in the process? Only time will tell. For now, all Nick can do is stay vigilant, protect those he loves, and keep pushing forward until the ward's dangerous game is finally exposed for all to see. This is an expanded, detailed version of the plot you provided, incorporating the dramatic elements while adding depth to the characters and the overall story. Would you like to explore more specific parts of this narrative or dive deeper into the characters' motivations?